What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Super Cool Nerd Nation. Today, I have the one and only. I actually managed to get her out of the void for a little bit. It is Cora. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. So let's go right into it. How long you been part of SCNS? You've been with us for a long time.
Goodness.
Before I have. Before
Yeah.
I was part of the show.
I want to say it's been 8 years. I want to say, yeah, because it was 2011-ish.
Oh wow. So you were not necessarily OG, but you were
So, close enough to it. I don't know how long Chris and Jason had been doing it.
about. He said 8 seasons. So about 8 years. So
Yeah.
you came, I guess, right after they started.
I guess so, right after they started the YouTube stuff.
So how did you get involved with SCNS?
Well, it's kind of funny. Everyone knows I cosplay. And a local comic book store at the time had asked for local cosplayers to come by. And I, of course, volunteered because why not?
Yeah.
And while I was there, I asked him, I was like, okay, what do you want me to do to help out? Because he was still getting set up. He's like, help those guys. And pointed me to Jason and Chris. So I walked up to Jason, how can I help? And he loaded me up with cables and told me to walk outside. So I helped them set up their stand, everything like that, for their live broadcast. And Jason had his son with him. He had to chase him down because he had decided to be the Flash and run to the other side of the shopping complex, which was kind of adorable.
Was this Lone Star Comics?
Yes, this was at Lone Star.
Oh.
Thank you.
Man, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Lone Star, which then became Collected, which then became Valhalla, and it's now a empty because it's no longer there, sadly enough. But so you helped with the cables. You saw Jason chase after his son.
And as he ran away, he said, Hannah, help Chris. And he meant by that was sit in the chair and help him just fill space. And then he just kind of stood back and watched as Chris and I just had a back and forth about something. And he invited me to come to another filming of the show and to join the crew.
Cool.
I didn't join immediately because of college, but the next month I came to the next live show that they did at the comic book store.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
There you go. So you were, for a little while, the unofficial third member.
Yes.
And then, do you remember who came in after you? Was that when Anazi joined?
No, Anazani was always kind of a come and go personality on the show. And that was just because of her work schedule, because I think she lived in Fort Worth, whereas we're in Dallas.
She lived in the colony. Where
so that's right.
Fun fact, Anazi and I have known each other since elementary school.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, we went through Peter's Colony at the time, and then we went to separate middle schools, but then we went back to the same high school. And we kind of reconnected again in high school, and we were even in the same newspaper class together for about 3 years, from sophomore year until graduation.
That's pretty
And she's
awesome.
the one that got me into going into cons, and she's the one that kind of told me about SCNS, and she kind of vouched for me whenever Jason was like, hey, should I put this guy on the show? And she's like, yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you, Anasni.
So yeah. So you were going. What were you going to college for?
I was going for theater. I was at least going for an associate's in fine arts.
Okay.
With a focus.
Did you do theater in schools, in high school and middle school as well?
Yes, I did actually. Our middle school didn't have much of a program. I remember there being like a one-shot kind of program that they did every year.
Yeah.
And I tried to do that, and then in college, in high school, I took every theater class that I could. If I wasn't in the play, I helped out with pretty much every show, whether it was building the set or taking tickets, whatever.
And when you went to college, did you want to be on stage? Did you do props? Did you do sewing, making costumes? What was kind of your thing?
I wanted to be on stage. I never really made it past the auditions. I worked in the shop for a little bit. I don't like power tools, so that didn't last long.
You don't like power tools, or do they not like you?
I get a little too nervous that I'm pushing a piece of wood towards a very fast-moving saw. Now, admittedly, the table saw that the college has is actually really good. They showed us the demo video for it. They put a hot dog onto the blade, and it nicked the skin and just immediately stopped. It has a piece of metal that just slams into the blade when it feels something that's not wood.
Okay, cool.
There's actually blades all around the workshop that had been signed by the people that didn't take nails out of wood and just continued to cut, or left a staple or left something in there that caught the wood.
And it just broke the blade or whatever.
It's like a wall of shame. Like if you like cut yourself on it, they don't make you do that.
What was this at Quatsi?
Yeah. Yeah.
For those that don't know, Quatsi is Collin County Community College. There we go.
Yep, it is now actually just Collin College. They've moved into the actual just college thing.
Okay.
However, every single person that is an alumni from there still calls it Quad C, and it makes the administrators angry. So of course that's what I'm going to continue calling it.
Will forever be Quatsi until all of us grow old and die.
Exactly.
So theater kind of translated into cosplay, or were you kind of doing? When did you start doing cosplay? Really?
I did my first cosplay when I was 13.
Okay.
It wasn't very much. I did Rin from Inuyasha. I just literally put my hair into a little side ponytail just like that, and wore a kimono.
There you go. What was it? Was this for a con? Was this just what con was it?
It was for Anime Weekend Atlanta
Oh, that's right. Because
Atlanta.
you're not from. I forget you're not from Dallas.
No, I'm originally from Peach State.
So when you were living in Atlanta, did you go to a lot of cons over there? Or how was the con scene over there, or cosplay scene over there?
The cosplay scene out in Atlanta is actually really great. Like, that is one thing that I miss about Georgia, is how open and friendly everyone is out there. Like, I didn't go to Dragon Con until after I'd left Georgia, because that's just the nature of things, I guess. But Anime Weekend Atlanta and Dragon Con, both of their atmospheres for cosplay and just general people is just so great. They, like, while yes, since they're two of the bigger cons out there,
Yeah.
people, of course, work really hard to show off their costumes, but even if you show up in something that doesn't look perfect, people will still recognize you, and people are still very nice about it.
As it should be. I mean,
Yeah.
We're all there being different characters, not have to worry about anything in real life. We're just there wanting to be other characters just for just a few hours at a con. So.
Right, exactly. And, like, honestly, Anime Weekend Atlanta, because of how, like, when I first started cosplaying, it wasn't a big thing. Like, obviously people cosplayed at cons.
Yeah.
But it wasn't big like it is now. So the community was a lot more close-knit.
Yeah. And
so older cosplayers would be like mother hens and take young little cosplayers under their wing.
Come hither, you're my young Padawan now.
Exactly. Also, like, I don't have any contact with these people anymore, but I made some of the best friends while I was there. Just like, for this con, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Because we would be cosplaying from the same thing, and we would just hang out the entire day.
What was one of the first, like, big group cosplays you did over there that you remember?
Well, unintentionally, because I got pulled into a group while I was there, it was Prince of Tennis.
Okay.
I dressed up like one of the characters from the main team, and I was walking around, and someone recognized me that was like their tennis partner, and they just like bolted to me, and we just like had a connection.
There you go.
And after that, we were walking around, we found just like, I think 2 more people from our team, and then the rest of the people we found were from some of the other teams. That was also the first like photo shoot I ever went to.
Ooh.
But someone took the pictures on like a disposable camera, so I never saw those pictures. But it was a lot of fun.
So what was the first intentional one you did?
First intentional? Oh, that wasn't until... Oh, no. It was a couple years later, I did Fruits Basket.
Okay, was that here or in Atlanta also?
In Atlanta.
Okay.
We had the entire Zodiac, including the ones from the manga, and the family head, Akito. Like, so we had everybody.
And who were you?
I was Toru.
You were Toru?
Yep, I was the main character because I had long brown hair and I was cute. So they dubbed me the main character. I'm like, that's fine with me.
There you go.
And then we had my characters' 2 best friends as well. So we had this giant group. It was great.
So this was, you were like, what, 13, 14 when you started doing all this?
I think, like, that group, I think, was when I was about 16?
Okay.
15, 16, somewhere around there.
So when did you start getting into anime? Like, when was it, what was, like, your first anime that kind of caught your eye, and from there it just, your obsession began?
See, my first anime was Speed Racer, back before I knew what anime was. When I hit like 4th or 5th grade, I think it was like 5th grade, I turned on Cartoon Network and Toonami came on.
Ah, Toonami.
And Gundam Wing came on. and then it was just a downward spiral. Because I was just like, this is so, like, I don't even remember what happened in the episode that I watched. I just remember being just, because it was giant robots fighting, the camera angles, the art style was amazing, and then right after that was Dragon Ball Z, same kind of like fight 'em, beat 'em up thing, and I was like, this is so cool.
So you started with Gundam Wing,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dragon Ball Z. Did you also watch like Pokemon, Sailor Moon?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I remember those being on Toonami, or at least
Oh.
Sailor Moon was in Toonami. Pokemon was just kind of back and forth between
Yeah.
Toonami and Kids WB.
I did watch Pokemon first, but it didn't start the downward spiral into anime. That was still the accepted anime of all children.
I spilled tea on myself.
It's okay. We're not here to spill tea today.
Oh no, that was 4th of July. That was a couple days ago. Well, we're doing this interview a couple days after the 4th of July. It's July 7th?
8.
8th? Okay, it's been 4 days. Wait, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, it is. Yay! That's right. It is July 8th. I don't know what day it is. That is how my work life. That's how life works because I work so much and I don't even know what day it is. Anyways, so you kind of watch Pokemon, but that really didn't start till you watched Gundam Wing. So before like Pokemon and Gundam Wing, like, did you grow up like watching anything like Batman or? Trying to think what else that would have been. That's well, I mean, I guess it's all nerdy now, like Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, and all
Yeah.
that. But what was like your start into just nerdy stuff? Not necessarily anime, but just kind of like, yeah.
We're gonna go with video games because that's what started the nerdiness first.
Okay.
It was with A Link to the Past and like I think Super Mario World.
Was this on the 64?
No, this was Super Nintendo.
Ooh, okay.
My dad had one of those, and so he had like Super Mario All Stars, so it had like, you know, Mario 1 and all the other Marios up to Mario World,
Mhm.
Super Mario World. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had that and A Link to the Past, and my sister and I played those all the time.
And that started your love for Zelda.
Yeah.
Because I know you're a big Zelda fan.
I'm a huge Zelda fan. Like, I don't even know if I did anything productive in the game. I think I just ended up running around and killing enemies constantly. But it was so much fun. I loved the environment and the characters.
Have you ever gone back and tried to actually beat the game?
I have, but I don't, since I don't own the game myself, it was my friend lent me his like Super Game Boy, like the Super Boy, like the portable one.
Oh, the second one. The second, after Game Boy Color, the second one.
No, like it was someone, or there's a company that makes a portable Super NES.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he had that and A Link to the Past, so he let me borrow it for a road trip, and I got all of the pendants, I think, and then I had to give it back, so I didn't get to do the Dark World stuff.
Is that the one that they're doing again for the Switch?
No, that's Link's Awakening. That's
Okay.
actually one I never got to play because it was on the original Game Boy.
So you're excited for that?
I'm so excited because it's literally, here's the game. We're gonna make it 3D now. Everything, all the mechanics and stuff are the same. Like even the little Easter eggs are still there.
All right. So for someone like me that's never played Zelda, any of the Zelda games, and if anyone's watching this, if you've never played the Zelda games, what's a good one to start with? Any system. Let's say we were able to access any system.
Honestly, one of the easiest ones to start with is Ocarina of Time for the 64.
Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. The graphics aren't completely dated, which I'm going to take that into account because there are a lot of people now like, I don't want to play that. It looks old. And I've heard a lot of people don't like the pixel stuff.
Well,
which,
I mean, that was the awesomeness of the 64. That was the first time we had 3D graphics like that, and it just, like, yes, GoldenEye looks like crap, but guess what? It's still a lot of fun.
it is. And also with Ocarina of Time, I don't want to say it railroads you, but it gives you more clear cut what you're doing.
Okay.
In the older Zeldas, it's more like Breath of the Wild, where it's just, here you go.
Open world.
Yeah, but it's go collect these things. I'm not going to tell you where they are. Have fun finding them. Like, you find the objects that tell you where they are,
Yeah.
obviously. But in Ocarina of Time, they kind of like, okay, so you need to go collect the other stones. One stone is here, one stone is here. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's a good, like, Zelda light, and then right after you have Majora's Mask, which was, like, the unintentional, like, sequel for it, which is one of my favorites, because it's a darker Zelda.
I remember when that was coming out for was it the Wii? I think
I th-
they didn't they do a remaster version of it already.
they did for the 3DS, and I highly
That was it. Yep, that was it. I remember.
don't play it.
Not that one. I remember that one was coming out, and they had like you could like get the mask like a statue.
Yeah, I wanted it so bad.
Might find it on Amazon. You never know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can. A lot of people got it and just sold it.
So when did you move to Dallas? Around what time?
I moved to Dallas around 2008,
Okay.
or at least I moved to Texas in 2008. I came out here looking for colleges and because I wanted to leave Georgia, because I didn't like Georgia. I still don't like Georgia, but that's personal.
Georgia.
Georgia's great to visit, and I'm sorry to any other people that live in Georgia. I just don't like living where I did.
I've driven through Georgia a couple times. I've been to Atlanta a couple times, and I also like their apple butter.
Their apple butter is fantastic. If you ever go to Atlanta, go to the Coke Museum. Go. Not only do you just get to have some fun, cheesy goodness there, when you leave, they give you a bottle of Coke.
Ooh, bottle of Coke.
Fresh off the assembly line.
Is that also where you can try like the different Cokes from around the world?
Yes, you have they have a tasting room filled with products that are all around the world, including some that are region locked, as I like to call it, because they have Barks Red Cream Soda,
Yes.
but only in the Midwest,
Oh.
and that made me so angry.
Can you order and get it shipped to you?
I think you can on Amazon.
Okay.
I think.
So for those that don't know, blah, blah. For those that don't know, I got married earlier this year. We went to Disney World, and we went to Disney Springs, and there's actually a Coke place there, and they have also for like $10 they give you like 20 cups, and it's like different Coke products from around the world. So I've got to try some of these, and some of them are pretty good, and some of them made me say why. Just why? This is so gross. So,
London.
one of them is called Beverly. I think it's the really gross one. I think it's called Beverly. Anyways, it was not. That kind of ruined the Coke tasting thing for a little bit, but then the next one was really really good. So
The one that I tried that just completely destroyed me was they had one that was for London. It was Earl Grey and lemon, which that's a wonderful combination. This tasted like butt, and not like a good thing. Like not a good thing.
not like a good butt.
No, all of the stuff from Africa though was fantastic, and I want all of it here.
I remember there's one from Zimbabwe. It was like green. I think it was like a green apple thing. So.
Yeah.
So anyways, right, we're getting off the thing a little bit. So you moved to Dallas. When did you start getting into the cosplay scene here?
It actually wasn't until I met my ex, because she was already in the cosplay scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was out here, and I hadn't gone to a con yet out here. I don't think. It's been a minute, so I don't remember exactly. But yeah. So it wasn't until I met her that I started getting into it with Hitalia, which I'm so glad I didn't have problematic friends in that fandom.
What was your first con here in North Texas?
It was YuleCon.
YuleCon.
YuleCon is a con that no longer exists. It was a con it was Dallas's answer to like IkiCon. It was one that was around Christmas time.
Yes, I remember hearing about this one.
It lasted for 3 years, and you can find all of that information online. We don't have time to go over that.
So what was So that was like a smallerish con kind of. What was
Yeah.
your first like a big one? Was it A-Con? Was it A-Fest? Was it Dallas Fan Expo or Dallas Comic Con at the time?
It was A-Con.
A-Con?
It was still at the Sheraton, and it was a blast. I had so much fun, and then we went to Anime Fest that next year when it was at the Hyatt, and still okay. The next year was their last year at the Hyatt, and it was bad.
Yeah. No, I know. So the A-Con this year was at the fairgrounds.
Yes.
Down at where they have the Texas State Fair. Did you get to go?
I did. I was actually vending a booth there.
How was it this year?
Money-wise, it was okay, like as far as like revenue.
Mm-hmm.
but the con itself was fine. Everyone that was there had a great time, as far as I could tell.
Okay.
Everyone was having a great time. They weren't really keen on spending a lot of money, but it was also the end of the month.
Yeah.
So rent is due, and all of those things, all different kinds of factors.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I have to give props to the Acon staff real quick. They had fans everywhere. They had water stations. They knew that it was going to be hot, and they knew that it was going to be a nightmare. They had 1 million food trucks there.
Ooh.
The security company, while they were checking bags, they didn't really care if you had like 5 water bottles in your bag.
No, like, we get it. It's 100 degrees. Just don't die.
Exactly. And if you only had one, I mean, you had water filling stations right there.
Do you think, other than it changing owners this year, do you think part of why Acon was at the fairgrounds was because maybe the hotel wanted it?
No, I think it was a last minute decision because they had to find something and find it fast.
Okay.
And the fairgrounds were their best option at the time.
Okay.
From what I understand, the hotels that they were in Fort Worth did not want them back because they could not pay for the damages that the guests had done to the hotel.
Yeah.
Which someone had pointed out, well, isn't that the people's responsibility? It is, unless they're in the con block. And then it falls on the con to fix those problems if they refuse to pay.
Yeah.
Because while they can still pursue that person, they still need their money to fix the rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, that was part of the kind of people saying, well, why is it a fairgrounds? And I'm like, because you guys are trashing the rooms and destroying property. Like, if you guys were grown up and not, tearing apart rooms or whatever, then it wouldn't be at the fairgrounds where it's going to be 100 degrees. Like, if y'all took care, if you guys were responsible people and not, clog the bathrooms with glitter or, whatever, just destroy the rooms.
Or Homestucks using acrylic paint and staining the tubs.
Yeah, then it wouldn't, the hotels would be, come on back. But
yeah.
If they don't find a hotel next year, I would understand it.
They are currently looking for a new location.
Yeah.
We'll see how that transpires. I think they're probably going to try for the Kay Bailey Center because, honestly, I think they're too big for one hotel.
Okay. They've gotten Fan Expo big.
They've gotten big enough that if they got the Kay Bailey Center, it would be a good move, honestly. I know people are upset because, well, it's not at a hotel, so it can't be 24 hours. It's gotten too big for that, guys.
Yeah.
It's the longest running anime convention in the country.
Was it like 20-something years?
Mm-hmm. It's actually been around as long as Dragon Con.
When did Dragon Con start?
The same year, just a few months, I think.
Just a few
before.
months? Okay. So for those that don't know, we'll look it up, we'll find it, and then I'll post a video about that, how long, when they both started, because if they're both with the same year, that's actually pretty cool. How many times have you been to Dragon Con? You said you've been...
Been twice.
What was it like?
I loved it. I want to go back desperately and be in the parade again. I got to be in the parade the first year I went. And being in the parade is easy. You just literally sign up and then they tell you where to go based on what your costume is. So all the anime people, you can go over there. All the Lord of the Rings people, you're over here. All the LARPing people, you're over here. And it was a lot of fun. It's an event that's televised on the local news. People that don't even usually like this kind of stuff come to the parade because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta give you props, Dragon Con, because they know that they're too big for just one hotel, but the area that they're at is 5 hotels basically that are connected to each other, and they just take up 4 hotels that are basically connected.
Yeah.
And then the dealer's room is just in a convention center because it's 3 floors.
Oh wow.
It is a 3-floor dealer room. I did not see the whole thing.
Man, yeah. The only thing I've really heard about Dragon Con is the cosplays are amazing. Yes. And it's basically a 4 to 5 day party. It
is. No matter what time of day it is, what day it is, if you walk into the main hotel, you're going to see cosplayers, and they're probably drunk.
So be safe.
Yeah, be safe.
And don't do anything stupid either. If they're passed out and drunk, get help.
Exactly. Thankfully, there's also a lot of staff just in the hotel in general, and they kind of keep an eye on all these people.
Good.
And they're having fun with it too, but they keep an eye, especially because they have a bar there.
Yeah.
In the main hotel, just in the middle of the room.
It's all right, guys, we gotta ordered 3 times as much as we usually order. It's get this bread.
It's Dragon Con time, guys.
All right, so now we're gonna go into the void.
Oh boy.
Because you say this is your line at the end of every show.
Yes.
How did Suikoden happen? And why do you continue screaming into the void about it?
So my brother-in-law, that's his favorite game of all time is Suikoden.
Okay.
And he told me about it and was like, you need to play it. And I was like, I don't know, because he handed me the case and I saw the cover, and the first game for the American cover looked like a bad fantasy romance novel. And I remember seeing it in the store and looking at it and going, I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and was like, are you sure about this? Like, open the case. And you open the case, and on the disc and on the book, it's an anime art style. So it was really jarring. I was like, which style is in the game? It's like the anime one, but trust me, play it. You can just play it until the first save point. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep playing.
Yeah.
And then I didn't put it down. It was a lot of fun. The characters are all just super interesting. And even if they have similar personalities, they're still very distinct.
Yeah.
The story is pretty normal, like pretty what you would expect.
Basic.
Pretty basic from what you would expect of a fantasy game. But what makes it shine is their attention to detail for their governments and their like political structure.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 3 different types of fighting systems. You have your turn-based fighting system for like open maps and boss fights and what you would expect in our old JRPGs. You have one-on-one fights, which go on like a rock, paper, scissors basis.
Ooh.
Where, based on what they say, you can kind of guess what they're going to do, and you have to like think about that.
Yeah.
And then the third is a war system, which is more so a rock, paper, scissors, where arrows beat this, sword beat this.
Okay, cool.
And that kind of stuff was interesting. You also have, to get your max army, you have to recruit 107 other characters.
Oh, wow.
Some of them are plot important, so you don't have a choice, you get those recruited anyway. But there are some characters that if you don't say the right thing, you don't recruit them.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful when you're playing whether or not you're going to get them or not.
Right, and there is no shame in having a guide open, because every time I've played, I've had a guide open on when I get characters, because in Suikoden 2, there's a character, before you can even recruit them, if you don't talk to them first in this random city, you will not get the prompt to see them again, and they will not join your team. Didn't know that, and I played through 40 hours to find out that I was one short.
And it was this guy that you didn't know about.
It was the guy I'd forgotten about.
Oh.
Because when I played through it the first time, my brother-in-law was a backseat gamer going, you need to go talk to them. Because he knew I wanted to complete it.
Yeah.
But what's really cool with it as well is in the first and second, and into the second and the third, certain characters reoccur. And if you gave, like, whatever armor and stuff you gave them in the previous game, they keep.
Ooh.
So when you meet up with them again, if you had them with the max armor and at a pretty high level, that's when they join you.
Oh, nice.
I loved that.
So what was this game on? What system was this on?
The first 2 games were on the PlayStation,
Okay.
and then the next 3 were on the PlayStation 2.
So there's a total of 5 altogether?
There's a total of 5 main story games, and then there were 3 offshoot games that were for the PlayStation 2. 2 of them like bridged the gap between 2 and 3 story-wise, and then the third one was just like an offshoot. It's in the same timeline, but it doesn't have anything to do with the main story.
Okay, it's just same world, different story. Okay.
Right, and then they came out with a game for the DS that apparently nobody liked. I didn't get to play it, so I don't know, because I can't find it. And then there was another one. I don't know what system it's for because I've only seen it referenced, and I can't find it either, so.
So why do you scream into the void about these games?
Because, unfortunately, the fandom is really tiny.
Okay.
The first game was released in America like 2 months before Final Fantasy VII was released in America.
Oh.
And since it was like new 3D graphics, it completely outshined Suikoden.
Yeah.
And then, while it is highly regarded by people, a lot of people don't know about it or they just don't talk about it. There's a huge revival movement to try and get Konami to at least release the games like on a newer system.
Like a remaster?
Like a remaster or something. Like, you can go to the PlayStation Store only if you have a PS3 and download the first 3 games to play, but if you have a PS4, you can't play them.
That's interesting.
So like everyone's like, just give them to Nintendo. You already gave them one property. Just give them the game.
What did they give them?
The I can't remember. Suikoden, Tyrkus.
Tyrkus is that one by Nintendo?
Yeah, that's the one that they released for the DS. So it's like technically, Nintendo has owned a property. I also in vain hoped that Super Smash Bros. Would have one of the characters, but
You never know.
I'm still holding hope.
Never
They've
know.
still got some that they haven't released.
So what would happen if, say, like Nintendo does buy it and they like next year or within 5 years they remaster a brand new game? What would happen?
I would scream
Okay.
from the void, like you would hear me outside the void, and I would happily buy the games again for my Switch so I could play them on the go.
Cool.
Like without a doubt, just drop the money.
So here, take it all.
Just take my paycheck.
Have you ever cosplayed any characters from Suikoden, or have you wanted to?
I haven't yet. I'm working on it. What's really sad is I want people to cosplay with me, because one of the great things is literally if you have the main character, any grouping of people you put with him or her makes sense.
Okay.
Because you can change out your party no matter what, and I'll get bonuses sometimes.
There you go.
And yeah, the third game was really great because you could, if you wanted to, you got to pick the main character, and one of the choices was a female knight.
Ah.
She's the only sword wielder main character. Everybody else either wields some kind of tonfa or bow staff, which I just find fascinating.
Switching gears a little bit now.
Yes.
Last 2 years, you've started getting into something else as well as part of your cosplay. You started getting into burlesque.
Yes.
How did that come about?
It came about, I don't remember exactly what year. A friend of mine, it was not long after I broke up with my ex. They wanted to hang out and go see a drag show in town. And I watched it and I was mesmerized by the costumes. Like I'd seen things like RuPaul's Drag Race and things like that. But I didn't know much more outside of that. I've become very adamant and very protective of local drag scenes.
Yeah.
And very anti RuPaul's Drag Race because
Yeah.
of it. Because there's way more variety in the local scenes. And I didn't realize this, but drag kings are a thing. When I learned that, I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't have, and at the time I was more uncomfortable with the thought of like getting naked or undressing. So I was like, I can do that because it's just this, but in a suit.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine had started at a local show called the Tuesday Teas. And I was helping him with his makeup and stuff since I'd taken theater. I'd help him like rhinestone his costumes. I kind of got the bug a little bit from that. And performed my first performance was with him. We did a musical act together. We did Agony from Into the Woods.
Into the Woods.
Because like, the best musical ever.
That scene I haven't heard the original play, but I kind of saw the movie. Haven't worked it so much at Alamo, but that whole scene with Chris Pine just going agony.
The energy from that, like, that was the best scene in the movie, honestly. Like, they may have kept a lot of the songs, but that is the only song that still had the same, are you kidding me, energy as the original play.
Yeah.
And, like, we used the original play's soundtrack. For it, because I like their voices better. Because they carry the notes better. But that was my first act. My first solo act was actually an anime number.
Ooh, what was it?
It was Personal Jesus with Duo from Gundam Wing. So the priest, I did that and did gay communion with the wine and bread.
Do you have a drag king name?
Yes, I'm Sterling Silver.
Sterling Silver, I like it.
Someone backstage freaked out because they thought it was an Archer reference, and that was unintentional. I just like sterling silver jewelry.
Okay, so how did the name come about? But it's just because you like sterling silver jewelry.
Yeah, I was like, sterling's a name. We're gonna go with silver. There we go.
There you go.
And then the rest is history on that.
Awesome. So are you doing performances like more regularly? Is it still just gonna here and there? Kind of what do you want to do with it long term?
It's mostly here and there just because I don't have a lot of time to work on the costumes and stuff because of my day job.
Mm-hmm.
And like having my fingers in a lot of different pies with SCNS and other personal things. But I submit a lot of stuff to Tuesday Tees, and if my act works with it, they'll book me for the show. If not, I still try to go to the show.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow night they're having a goth show. I'm going to be going to that to support a couple of friends. Probably in the fall, because that's when they usually do it, we'll probably have another anime night, because those are usually pretty good. We're trying to get them to do another international show, because those are always fun. The whole point is you pick a song that's in another language or from another country and perform it.
So, funny thing, you actually mentioned that. The other day, I don't know why it caught my eye, but someone went back and did a bunch of Disney songs in their native language. Like,
I saw
they
that.
did like Moana and Samoan, Maori. They did Beauty and the Beast in French. They did Snow White in German. And I'm like, oh my god, this is actually pretty cool. And of course, they did Brave in Irish, because the accents are. I mean, it's English, but it's also very.
Well,
it's a very.
Gaelic is.
Gaelic. There we go.
Gaelic sounds like English.
It's not.
It's not.
Is there any one like performance or something you've been really wanting to do, or one that you're kind of working on right now?
I haven't gotten like too deep into it in terms of like what song I want to do, but I have two. I'm gonna say that I have two. I want to do a Suikoden number if I can ever learn cool bow staff tricks.
Okay.
And just be the main character and basically do an exhibition to one of the game songs.
So if you know bow staff, contact her. She'll love you forever.
Jason is supposed to teach me, but I keep not contacting him. So that's my bad.
Jason, I know you're watching this, and you live literally across the street from her. So there's a park right over there.
Yeah, I need to work on that. The other one is when I started working on kind of mentally a few weeks ago. I want to learn how to do skate tricks, like roller skating tricks.
Ooh.
And do a Yuri on Ice number.
Watch Brink on whenever the Disney Channel movie, the Disney app comes out. There's a movie from the 90s called Brink, and it's about inline skating. There we go, and it's fabulous.
Well, I mean, there are competitions for roller skating, like there are for ice skating, which I didn't realize.
Really?
Yeah, they do the same kind of stuff, just on like the 4-wheel roller skates instead of ice skates.
Cool.
I was like, how? Like, I saw someone do a sow cow, and I was like, how?
Triple sow cow.
Yeah, just whoosh. I'm like, how did? Okay.
Awesome.
Probably won't work though on a.
You
tiny
never
stage.
know.
Well, on a tiny stage, I don't think that'll work very well.
You'll make it work. You're you. I know you. I believe in you. Awesome. So trying to think if there's anything else I can kind of think of right now off the top of my head. So what do you want to do go forward with not only cosplay and SCNS and just nerdom in general?
I don't know. Like, I want to get more. Like, I want to get back into anime and video games a little bit more. Like, I've kind of strayed away from anime just because a lot of stuff that's been coming out hasn't been eye-catching to me, I guess. I've been, like, stuck in the 90s, early 2000s era for anime for a while, and this is the first time in a long time I've had modern game systems. So I want to slowly just, like, catch up, I guess. Like, catch up on, like, video game stuff and anime in general. Kind of bring more of that to SCNS. Like I used to, like doing the anime reviews, I want to bring those back.
Yeah.
But I have to find something that more than just me is going to like.
Have you watched My Hero Academia?
I've watched enough of it to know that I love it, but I watched the first season and I didn't get caught up.
Okay.
I need to. I'm trying.
Awesome. Well, Cora, thank you so much for being on Super Cool Nerd Nation. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at HawksPerch, where that is the void I scream into. About Suikoden. Please join me.
I love her hearing that all the time. Just like, I scream into the void about Suikoden.
I also post things like Moomins, because Moomins are adorable. Please love them.
Moon?
Moomins. It's a It's Sweden's version of Mickey Mouse.
Oh, okay. I thought of Moon Moon, like the, remember that meme? Moon Moon?
Oh yeah, Moon Moon. I mean, not far off. But you can also find me on Instagram at Korodono, KORODONO. I post mostly artwork and cosplay stuff there. I recently got a TikTok. If you find me, cool. If you don't,
Is it also under Cardona?
I don't know. You'll have to find out because I refuse to give it to people.
Hey, there you go. So do some digging and you can find her TikTok. And if you do, share it.
It's not interesting.
It's very interesting.
It's mostly just art still.
All the art, though. Support your local artists.
Also be prepared for a lot of Arcana game because that's what's all going to be on there now.
A lot of what?
You'll find out. But,
Awesome. Well, Cora, thank you again so much for being on here.
Thank you.
And then, as we always end every SCNS show, as always, keep
on
on
nerding.
nerding.